Hi, everybody. Welcome to Daily Illuminations for the Soul. This is a new show that I have for each platform and whatnot. So, welcome everybody. I'm glad to see you guys here. I decided to put together a show to make sure that we begin to illuminate the soul and make sure that people begin to come together like minded IAMers, non IAMers, and global citizens to make us all feel better. Because there is a point in time in life where we're all going to go through hardships or some type of thing that make us feel a certain type of way. So, with that being said, I want to make sure that I illuminated the soul no matter what. So, whether you're having hardships or not, that we always come together. We have a little powwow and a motivation, illumination, destination, illuminated session. Okay, so that's what daily illuminations for the soul is all about. Heart. Okay, and for those of us who are IAMers, a good pyramid there because it's based on a foundation of bricks that are thrown at us in life that create hardships, but building on that foundation of bricks that are thrown at us and things like that. The reason why I say this is because we're all going to go through hardship. I don't care if you're IAM or not. Okay. But in leading the charge in IAM is that the IAM abundant self goes through those transformations because we're becoming a better version of the self. We're discovering the greater self, the I am illuminated one, the Christos, I am self. So Christos means illuminated one. Okay, we're all born this way, but we lose our way along the way when we have hardships. Okay, so I figured it would be best for us to learn how to do this daily by learning of our daily bread. Okay, so I have this book here. This is what we're going to be using to go along. Okay, and then there's another adjacent book that's great, and this would be a testament. Okay, great body of work. It helps you out a little bit, and it helps us to learn life, live life, and do better. Okay, and these are some books that I picked up when I was going through my own hardship. And life is slowly getting better. It's getting better a little bit. Oh, kind of day by day. I didn't say everything's perfect, but it's getting better all the time. All right. So with that being said, I'm glad of that. So I picked out some good common knowledge that we look at every day. You may join the website. It's a pretty good one. I absolutely adore it, and it is called Illuminating. And you definitely want to check it out. Follow Illuminating, and that is on Twitter and Facebook. Those are their main accounts. I don't believe they got one on Instagram just yet, but when they do, follow it. Okay. Just one moment, guys. So again, as I was telling you guys, we have our word of the day, which is the I am hashtag giveaway hashtag of the day, which is the word is pound I am illuminated. So if you want to enter to win with our corporate sponsors and partners to win content or something fresh new from any one of our stores, you're more than welcome to enter the hashtag giveaway. So when you're in the comments, put pound I am illuminated. Yay. Okay. And so we're going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4 illuminations. So it's going to be a bit long, but you guys, we're going to get through as quick as we possibly can. I want to make sure the format was done so that you guys can get it all. Get your pen and paper out, start writing some things down as you learn, and go along your way. So get your pen and paper out, write some things down as you see it. You pop in and out, that's just fine. You're coming into the Clubhouse, Meta, Live, or you're coming into the Twitch or Twitter Spaces, please mute your mic. Thank you. And while I'm teaching, I'll give you guys the floor after I'm done. All right? And if you want to share any of your I am hardships and overcoming stories, you're more than welcome to do that after I give you guys the floor. Okay? All right, so we've got the teaching for today, which will be from page 65, page 77, page 73, and page 85. Okay, I'll go over each and every last one, but I want to make sure we run through the etiquette first. And every great work, every great accomplishment has been brought into manifestation through holding to the vision and the I am illuminated vision. And often just before the big achievements in life comes apparent failure or discouragement and things like that. I'll give you the reason why I said that. But let's get into the level of the better version of ourselves and what part of that is illuminating and elevating to the better version of ourselves, of our I am illuminated version of our original self. Okay. That takes practice, precision, and a lot of inner and outer work of the core self, and our shell and the outer version of the self, and ourselves as we present to the world. Okay, so that's our I am self. Just a moment. So, with that being said, it does take practice, all right? And it takes practice and precision and a lot of inner and outer work, as I was saying. And the core of ourself and our shell, the former version of ourself, the one that where we pick up things, we learn stuff, and sometimes along the way we lose ourselves. Okay, that's what I meant by our inner core self, our illuminated one. So we must begin to cultivate the mind and elevate and build. That's a master class in of itself. Okay, and I want you guys to understand why I said master class. Nobody is a master overnight. Nobody is a abundant, unified, advanced one overnight. That takes time. By the time that happens, most of us will be well into our 50s and 60s and things like that. But the thing is, as we go along the way, we can build the core self in our 20s, in our 30s, and learn. It doesn't mean it can't happen sooner, but it's just that you're going to have some bumps along the road, okay? You're going to meet some low-hanging fruit, all right? You're going to meet so many different people along the way who are going to change you. And, that's what I meant by comes apparent failure and discouragement. There's going to be provocateur, saboteur in your life. I want to make sure that it's abundantly clear that does happen, okay? That's life. That's hardships, okay? Don't sweat the small stuff, all right? But it means that we must begin to cultivate the mind, as I said, elevate the mind and build. And like I said, it's a journey to abundance, unity, advancement, and internal, external, in this world, what we contribute to this world. Excuse me, guys. Today's just my day. But it means that we must begin to look at the external, internal, and then outward locus of control that we have in life and in our world, in our given lifespan, and in our lifetime. So let's move forward in progressive grace, tolerance, and growth, and build and elevate to our higher form of the self, and as well as the better and greater version of the self. Okay. There we go. So when we think of about all of that, we have to think the better versions of oneself and tuning into the illuminations of the day, each day with illuminations for the soul and the building sessions and the master class on how to do that. And the reason why I said master class is because I'm not yet the master and I would never want to outshine the master. But even if you become a master of life or what we call a PhD in life, meaning you learn how to not be a player hater or anything like that, but becoming a PhD and scholar and learning how to deal with the school of hard knocks and those that make our life sugar honey ice. And it's no laughing matter, but sometimes you gotta laugh sometimes, right? All right. So when we think about these building sessions, what is it supposed to do? Think. So let's keep going in dialogue and discuss. And for educational and also growth and wellness purposes, from your local YouTuber, Facebooker, Meta, Twitter, Instagram, Bigo, Clubhouse, and Snapchat, WhatsApp, all those social media platforms, HR, wellness, and life coach certified, IAM CC, and Don Diva Coaching, Team World Online, health coach, wellness coach, business coach, and divorce coach, CC. So Also, if you have any interviews and bookings that you want to do, you are more than welcome to mail to info@talkradiodiva.com or book on talkradiodiva.com. Or if you want to book your appointments at imcc.com or imcccoaching.com for regular appointments. IMCC is for specialty appointments. DonDivaCoaching.com is for non-IMers, but you're more than welcome to transition to IM as you go through life and things get a little bit better. Or if you're going through hardship, I can walk you through it, things like that, as a beacon of IM. Okay. And then there's teamworld.online for children, adolescents, young adults, especially my babies. All right. All you youngins and things like that can stand to learn from your elders. I would be what we consider your mini elder. I'm not old as dirt, Methuselah. But we also know that I am definitely a little older, and if my babies need a little help and a little love there, and for me to help guide, I'll do that. So that's my whole part in all of this. Okay, so that's my legacy that I want out there for you guys. So I am CC, your life coach, your wellness coach, your business coach, divorce coach, and as well as your local I am or next door. All right. So let me make sure you guys understand what the power to do more. You may call in 515-602-9765 and book interviews again online at talkradiodiva.com. And moderator positions are available. And I will need a team here soon because things are picking up steam. I got a lot of stuff I've got going on. All right. So I welcome anybody who is wanting to be on Team I Am. Okay. And again, the word today is I am illuminated. Okay. So when you're in the comments, you're more than welcome to do that. Any disrespectful comments will be deleted and removed. And if you cuss, you spell your cuss words, I would prefer you did not, as I have a deal with LinkedIn. So I do not want any cussing, cuss words. If you come on here distracting and whatnot, you will be muted. I won't even tell you, you'll be gone and blocked. And that includes anybody that's potential students or any current students or anybody outside of studentry. To understand my rules and regulations and whatnot, we'll go over those house groundkeeping, show etiquette rules. And that would be no photographs, no screenshotting, no restreaming unless I have a deal with you about that. And you're more than welcome to do that if you ask permission. But I will let you know ahead of time if you can or cannot. Until then, there is a no. All right. And there will be no trolling. No level of disrespect will be tolerated. Understand you will be blocked, muted, and reported for repeat offensive, out of line, or out of context, off topic, or non-conducive, disruptive behavior, or excessive cussing. I do not allow it. So you will be asked to leave alive, and if you excessively curse, you will be blocked and muted without any abandon, and I will have you gone, and you're not allowed to come back. Also, like, share, and subscribe to this live and any podcasts I have. Follow at Talk Radio Diva, Don't Do Coaching, IMCC Coaching, and Team World Online for children, adolescents, young adults, babies. All right. You guys know I love my kids. Also, after the show, there will be important questions and community link questions and whatnot as I become monetized and whatnot. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about making sure that we have good content and good shows and everything else. And I'll ask you some good, wholesome questions and things like that after the show. So I think we've done a fairly good job of getting started. All right. So let's get into the nitty gritty. All right. So in the prior show, we went over the particular illuminations for the last show, which was on page 19, page 27, page 39, page 49, and those were those daily prior live teachings and whatnot. So you can go back and you can pick up this book and you'll be able to follow along, read along, and get to know all of the different things and whatnot. All right. And also get the accompanying companion book, which is the great start. And then from there, have this as your daily read every day. Okay. So it's highly recommended, good read, and recommended books. You can get it at Amazon and other such outlets that sell it. All right. And you can get a coordinated combo pack and things like that. And they'll be able to get that. Plus, you can also get the coloring book. And it is good for those of you who are autistic like Wah. And it is really great to have a coloring pack and be able to do that sometimes, especially when you're feeling some type of way. And I found as an adult coloring book, it's great because there's some days when people just take it there and you're just like, oh, and it's like, okay, oh. So it happens, okay? So I want you guys to understand how important it is to have different things. And then there's also adult coloring books. I also have coloring pages and things like that for those who like to do that. It keeps you busy, especially when you're feeling some type of way and you just be mad or wet hornet and feel some kind of way. So, I just feel like reach out and touch somebody. So with that being said, page 39, page 27, page 19 are those pages to go back and look at, okay? So let's get on to the pages that are important to talk about today. All right. So we're going to start with the first one, which is every great work, every great accomplishment has been brought into manifestation through holding it to the vision, and often just before a big achievement comes apparent failure or what seems like failure and discouragement. That's by Florence, Scovel, Shinn, found on page 85 of the Illuminations. All right. And this is Illuminations wisdom from this planet's greatest minds. Okay. It is absolutely a great read. And it is something when you're feeling some type of way, if you don't feel like coloring, you can definitely look at this book. And I will tell you, I found that it's very interesting to be able to have this as a companion, especially when you get lost in your thoughts or lost in the sauce and you're feeling some type of way about life. All right. All right. So let's go to page 85. And this will be in the section called hardships and bravery. Okay, it is hard to be brave when life is throwing you a lot of stuff and discouraging you. All right. And I will tell you, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stand alone. There, stand alone and stand up by yourself or fall for anything. I was taught this by a great teacher of mine, and that would be my adopted mother, but I call her Mom Duke. That's Mommy. So, hi, Mom. But I want you guys to understand, me and my mom have my ups and downs and things like that, but I'm still her daughter, and I give her homage and respect that she's earned and things like that as my teacher and whatnot. So I want you guys to understand where this comes from. I have a very, very, how do I say this? My hardest teacher has been my mother, and I wanted to make sure that her legacy that is left here on this earth is that she has taught me right and raised me well, even though some days are not perfect. But the thing is, I can thank her for helping me to understand hardships are going to be hard, even dealing with her. But that's my mom. So heart to Mom Duke. All right. And I have respect for my elders too. So, with that being said, we have to think about what this page says. All right. And I want you guys to understand that. And another one of the illuminations we're going to talk about is the one from page 73. And we'll go back to that in just a second. This is by Mark Twain. Okay? Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it's time to pause and reflect. Okay? So, with that being said, we're going to start within a 30-minute to 1 hour session. And Twitter Spaces and Meta Live, as well as Twitch Live, as well as the other different things that we are going to be doing in these daily illuminations. So I wanted to make sure you guys understood how important it is in the 30 minutes to 1 hour that the daily illuminations and coaching and whatnot is it's all about a level of resolving things that are happening with us and also relating with each other and as this personal account and as professionally as possibly we can to build on the foundation bricks that are thrown at us. All right. And so with that being said, in the last few days, I want to make sure that we illuminate along the way and do a build and breakdown of each one. And with the recordings and things like that for you guys to get them and replay them at points and times. And we can have a teachable moment and unpacking each one of these statements and whatnot. And also, I'll give you the page numbers like I just did, just so that you guys can follow along, write things down as I told you guys. And with that being said, when you're writing these different things down, again, you can get that text in this one and then this one, all right? So the First Testament of the Illuminati, and it's official at illuminati.am Testament. You can get that, and you can get that also at illuminati.am and /illumination. Pick it up there, and also when you sign up for your account inside of the website, you're able to get the actual illuminations there, especially if you're beginning or if you're having a hardship, things like that. You can get it inside the website. And when you they finish updating it and everything else, it'll be at version 3.0. And you'll be able to have a like-minded community with other IAMers and also learn along the way and have discussions, all right? So I thought that's pretty neat on the website. And so let's get into it. So page 85, all successes are found after great difficulty. Hardships are rocks on the road to victory, threatening to tear apart your shoes and tripping you along the way, all right? A person becomes weary as they work on a project or wearier with each passing moment they spend searching for its solution. Time has a way of cultivating discouragement, all right? Steadily chipping away at a person's stamina with self-doubt and internal anxieties. If winning was easy, winning would be no victory. Magnificent accomplishments require effort and perseverance. When you trip, you must stand again, all right? The harder the journey is, the greater the reward it is at the end. Okay, so we're going to unpack this. Okay, so I have some annotations that I made that I think. So we'll kind of go along and figure out where we're going with this. All right. I thought this was an excellent one because in the daily illumination, every great work, every accomplishment has been brought in manifestation through the vision, and often just before a big achievement comes apparent failure and discouragement. Okay, that's true. All right, light shining in. How cool is that? Often before that big achievement, and comes apparent failure and discouragement. So that's Florence, Scovel, Shinn, and that's on page 85. So this would be this page right here. All right. So with that being said, as the texts teach, hardships are rocks or foundation or of a miniature bricks life throws at you or to sharpen you, okay? The reason why I say sharpen you is iron sharpens iron, all right? So we would all be considered that iron, just like an iron supplement. Iron sharpens iron. So we are all each other's iron, all right? And cultivating our mind to elevate and begin to morph into a greater version of ourself, and of our illuminated self, all right? And that self that takes those stepping stones or those bricks that are thrown at us. So that be the foundation of bricks that are thrown at us. And we build that foundation on a pyramid of bricks that are thrown at us. So by the time we get to that top peak of that pyramid, that I am illuminated better version of the self, which means we're being built up behavioral, mental health, emotional health, all the things that are required for us to be the better version. I am illuminated. I am abundant. I am unified. I am advanced version of the self. All right. So that takes those stepping stones, or what we call miniature bricks, that build a foundation, a pyramid, a level of I am abundance mindset. Okay. So we take those stones and those lessons and we brush them up. We make that little brick and then we turn around and we build a foundation on each one of those things: behavioral, mental, emotional, bridge the gap. And there you go. At the peak level is the better version of the self. So how about that? All right. And I will tell you guys this. In those stones, or what I call stepping stones, those are our footprints, okay? So as we order our steps and guide our tongue. Sorry, get a little tongue tied, a little twisted here, all right, if you will. We all get tired, all right, as those rocks or those stepping stones, they wear heavy on our mind, and it makes our life harder, all right? And when we think about all of this, what makes our life harder, especially when you got saboteur, provocateur, or agent, what I don't mean like any kind of federal agent, it means just agents, anything like inputs, outputs, stimulus, all right? So those are at the path of the rocks and the stepping stones that we have to utilize, all right? And those are those rocks and those stepping stones that threaten to tear us apart at the shoes on our feet. So sometimes our shoes become worn, our mental becomes worn. It's just like I was talking about in self-discipline and mastery, because we're going to be moving into bulletproof motivation and the next coaching sessions with IMCC coaching, Don Diva coaching, and Team World Online for children, adolescents, young adults, for my babies. All right. So when we think about all of these stimulus, that's what I mean by provocateur, saboteur, agent. All right. So it's not always physical in the flesh. Sometimes it's in the mind. Sometimes it's in the spirit. Sometimes it's in the environment. All right. So that's what I mean by input, output. So we have to continue to go forward, okay? The reason why I say this is that in that, those rocks may trip you along the way, but you have to keep walking, keep going, even if your shoes get tattered and you know you can't afford to replace them shoes. But you have to still say to yourself, I got the shoe, I'm going to make sure that I make it and keep going, okay? That is the journey, all right? That's all my shoes. But I wanted to give you some props and so a little bit of understanding about how important it is to visualize. All right. So we all get tired, and those rocks weigh heavy on our mind, our body, our soul, our spirit. And then on top of it, it tests and pushes our resolve to its natural limits. All right. So when we think about all of that, and we think about our resolve, our limits, our natural born I am limits, our illuminated limit, our abundant, our advanced limits, the things that we naturally have, but hardships in life and life lessons kind of chip away at that result. All right. And it tests and pushes our results. It's natural with each passing moment that we have to stay bulletproof, motivated to find a solution. All right. So time can be one of our biggest discouraging things, all right? So with that being said, we have to think about that. What does that mean? And we're going to take a break. All right, we're back. All right. So as I was trying to tell you guys, we have to think about the bulletproof motivation and where we have to be at in self-discipline and mastery. So when we think about this, time can be our biggest source of cultivating discouragement. It steadily chips away at our stamina, our willpower, our resolve, and also when we think about it, it messes with our internal and external anxieties and heightens our self-doubt. And we have to counteract that, saboteur, that provocateur. It's like, having lousy people who create a poisonous environment or a disturbing environment. It also is a level of overcoming all those type of saboteur provocateur agents, whether physical or environmental, or in a neighborhood, or anybody that creates that frustration, that anxiety, upset. Okay, so when we think about all of that, it heightens our self-doubt, our annoyance, our upset. All right, so we got to power through all of that with positive self-talk and action steps to achieve and overcome those hardships or other people who make our life hard or all right. So when we think about that, if winning was easy, winning would be no victory. And it's a magnificent level of accomplishment when it requires a level of willpower. I am abundant, illuminated, abundant self. And that means sheer resolve and willpower to overcome everything that is happening or creating, causing distraction. Okay? Or chipping away at a resolve to stay calm. And the majesty of staying calm is that we have to resolve and have an effort to persevere. And a lot of that is understanding the self, understanding our illuminated self, and beginning to understand how important it is. All right. So, with that being said, I want to make sure you guys understood that. And with our effort to persevere and overcome all of that, you may be tripped up by rocks, okay, along the way. Because we have to think about you, even if you trip over those rocks or those foundation of bricks or stepping stones that are being thrown at us, we have to get up, brush ourselves off, and keep going. The reason why I say this is that we have to stand again and move forward. Stand up, stand out, move forward on that pyramid of bricks thrown at us. So we have to begin to look at that foundation, say to ourselves, I'm going to be okay. Everything, I'll keep going, moving forward, and mow my way across. It's just like a lawn. It's just like a person. It's like weeds in a lawn. Eventually, you have to snatch them up. Sometimes you have to snatch things up by the reins and say, you know what? I'm gonna be all right. I'm going to make it. Because when you have very, very, very manipulative, nasty people, you have to remove them. That includes poisonous people, poisonous neighbors, poisonous environment, poisonous family, poisonous non-family, or external output stimuli that creates and causes the frustrations. That's what I mean by becoming more focused, bulletproof, motivated, and begin to say to yourself, I am not going to let you do this. I'm not going to let you distract me. And you are what I call a stimuli and stimulus of provocateur and saboteur or hardship. So instead of allowing my life to be harder, I'm going to make sure a negative turns into a positive. I'm going to convert that negative energy into I am illuminated energy. And you cannot have light without darkness. All right. And with that being said, I want you guys to understand why I'm shedding light on that. Because you have to thank those that are making your life difficult. You have to thank those that are creating and causing saboteur or provocateur or any such source of distraction or discouragement. Okay. So that leads me into page 73. All right. All right. Page 73. And this is by Mark Twain. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it's time to pause and reflect. I think this is a good one. All right. So The minds of the people are easily swayed by the pressure of hardship. Their decisions become clouded by fears that cause them to take actions out of desperation, actions that they know are wrong, but become easier to commit when their resolve has been chipped away. So you guys understand what I'm saying, okay? Mob mentality is a vacuum that pulls people with good intentions towards a destructive center, okay? Or to do destructive, distracting things, convincing them to do harmful things they would never otherwise consider doing alone or by themselves, okay? So, when the voices of hundreds shout that the city must burn, it becomes harder to hear the thousands who quietly disagree or say, no, that's not right. Dare stand alone or fall for anything. Okay? So, a leader cannot fall prey to the whims of the voices that shout the loudest. He who shouts the loudest is the weakest, all right? He or she, all right? So, let's just make this gender neutral, okay? But must stand as a voice of reason in defense of the silent. So when we think about all of this, we have to think about what that means. So I want to unpack my thoughts on that. All right, just one moment. Minds are easily swayed, okay, manipulated to react in hardships and whatnot. All right, because there are some people, like I said, that are a pain in our rear. All right, we get people who literally annoy us, irritate us, but there's so many people in the world like that. So you have maybe 5%, 1% of the world that is extremely toxic, obnoxious, or causes or creates hardships. All right. But then you have the other percent of the world who's out here, and we are all prey or what we call easily susceptible until we mold the self and have the growth mindset, abundant mindset, or resourceful mindset to begin to look at our abundance, our unified advancement. I am illuminated original self and begin to see ourselves for who we truly are. So we have to go back to our original programming, our original DNA, what we really were before life got to us and kind of made it a little hard. All right. So when we think about this, we think about those who are our source of hardship. And I want to expound on that because of those rocks that are thrown while hiding their hands, making life much harder than it should be. So that's what I meant by that, right? So when people make our life much harder than it should be, we have a tendency that we make decisions out of desperation or exasperation. Okay. That's all of us, even including myself. We're all prone to doing something that we otherwise wouldn't do if we were in a normal circumstance. So that's what I meant by hardship. All right. We're all going through it. We're going through it during COVID, and some of us prior to COVID. So some of us are teen vets that feeling the hardship and people make our life sugar honey ice tea. And when our resolve is shipped away, and we end up looking like, okay, I'm okay, but I'm not okay. So when we think about all of that, we have to say to ourselves, we will sometimes get easily distracted out of desperation. And then on top of that, we are often vulnerable to hardships when life is going 90 to nothing. And we don't take the time to process, let it sink in, and then think and make solutions that deter us from making decisions out of exasperation or desperation. Okay. So I want you guys to understand all of that. And then we make decisions that we otherwise know are wrong or take us off our course or our focus. And most of the time, our chosen path. So we have to think about this and what I'm saying here, right? When we think about our chosen path and the course of life where we're heading, a lot of times we have it all planned out. So God says, oh, that's not what I have in plan for you. Here we go. Here's what's going to happen. And you're just like, all right. So my blueprint got blown to smithereens, and now I have to sit up here and go along and get along and figure out what I'm going to be doing. All right. So when we think about our chosen path, we have to say the mob mentality or AKA majority mentality can sway us. All right. And it can sway us or deter us from our destiny or our final destination. That is I am abundant, I am illuminated self, or I am somebody. Okay. So when we think about all of this, we have to think, hey, where am I going? Where am I heading? Because life is full of distraction and saboteur, provocateur. All right. So when we think about all of that in our own destiny and where we're heading, a lot of times it takes us off course. All right. So I want you guys to understand. And when we think about all of this, I liken mob mentality to, or what we call, and the other levels of words, a Hoover vacuum is what I call it. All right. We think about the mob mentality and we think about a majority. So that means everybody that's outside of how we all think, which is I am self. illuminated self, abundant self. We're all raised I am. We just forgot where we came from. All right. Because our parents taught us, right? Honor thy mother, honor thy father. There should be order in the household before you step outside the household. Respect your elders, treat others as you want to be treated, correct? So we have to think about what we've lost along the way as we learn other different things from different people who influence our life. That's what I mean by STEM alive. All right. So I liken mob mentality to a Hoover vacuum. It can slip you into a majority groupthink and mentality to join the crowd of sheeple, all right, or otherwise sacrificial lamb. He will lead you to your own slaughter. So I would say be a lion and stand in your own light. The reason why I say this is that you have to stand in your own light and dare to light a candle for someone else, especially when they're on their own or feeling alone or don't feel like they have someone. That's what I am is for. We're here for anybody, any of us who are I am beacons or beacons of light, beacons of order, beacons of abundance, unity, advancement. For everybody, I am illuminated. I am global citizens, people who are out here who are trying to shed light and make sure that the world goes back to a better place. And that means a world of order, a world of peace, a world of, you're going to have war, you're going to have famine, you're going to have all kinds of things happen, but to make the world more tolerable when chaos and disorder happens, all right? So mob mentality is okay in some ways when it serves a greater purpose. So understand, follow me here with this, all right? Or people like, oh, mob. No, I'm not talking about that mob, all right? But there's always going to be a mob mentality some kind of way, all right? But when we think about this, mob is not bad when you think about the greater purpose. However, if that mob of people, meaning group, all right, of people are able to get you to a greater purpose or final destination of I am illuminated, abundance, advancement, growth, everything that is what we all should be doing anyway. All right. So when we think about this, there is a destructive purpose with people who have a mob mentality to be saboteur, provocateur, or create hardships unnecessary. Okay. So understand the difference. Okay. So we're all some form of mob. All right. We all have our own communities. We have our own level of agendas. We all have our own level of what our purpose is in life. Mine is to be an I am beacon and serve my greater purpose. And that is an I am purpose, illuminated, abundant, advanced, unified purpose. Okay. So I understand my assignment in life. All right. So I want to make sure everybody else understands theirs. All right. So when we think about the destructive purpose of some people, that means distraction agents, provocateur, saboteur, or anything else that leads us into desperation to do things that we otherwise would not do, okay? Or act in such a way that we normally wouldn't, all right? So when we think about destructive purpose, that means malice or ill intent or poisonous center. Someone who is poisonous to the righteous mob mentality, meaning the group think or the organized group think of abundance, unity, advancement, the agenda to be a decent person, at least, if you will. So let's just put that in layman's terms, all right? So make sure you align with the purpose or agenda that is good for you, good for the soul, and will daily illuminate you and build you to the better version of the self, all right? So when we think about the majority, and we think about the poison center of destructive people and things like that, you must dare stand alone, then go with the majority, than being led off of a cliff and to your own downfall or demise. So that's what I mean by groupthink. Either you're on the right side of the majority or you're on the wrong side. There is no right or wrong, but you have to understand that your choice, red pill, blue pill, which direction you're going to go. We're all going to end up at some destiny. We're going to have a final sleep at one point in time. But let your legacy before you get there to lay down at your final sleep is that your legacy was a good one. Let your calling card, your virtual calling card, your digital calling card be that you set the world on fire in a good way, not in a bad way to where you're not illuminating anyone. You're just breaking people down without the intent to build them up. Because here's the thing. If I'm going to break you down, I'm definitely going to say, here's the hand. And let me show you the area of your ways. Let me begin to build you on the foundation of bricks that I've thrown at you. But let me help you build that pyramid. Let me lend you a hand and say, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry if I crossed you. I'm sorry if I did this. That is the difference between having a good mob mentality versus having a horrible mob groupthink mentality. So we have to choose the side of the majority that is righteous. And if everybody's saying, oh, off with her head, off with his head, but you have to follow along. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we have to kind of understand what go along, get along means in certain ways. You can go along and get along as long as the majority is in a good manner and for a greater purpose. Okay. So this is where I want to expound on page 73. Okay. When we think about the mob mentality, it's used for destructive purpose. Okay. And when we think about it, it can lead us, otherwise good people, to with pure intention to destructive things or destructive actions that otherwise we would not do alone. All right. So make sure that you're going to choose a mob or tribe to run with. So let's put it in the right context of wording. Tribe. Okay. AKA mob or a level of a majority of people that you are likewise around at a series or interval of time. So that's what I mean by that. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm on point with the notes. All right. So when we think about the majority mentality or tribe mentality, is your tribe I am abundant? Is your tribe I am illuminated? Is your tribe I am somebody? If it's not, you're with the wrong tribe. Okay. So make sure it is I am. So when we think about people with pure intentions and good intentions, right? We have to think about not doing destructive things or actions or words or things like that. But we have to make sure we align with the greater purpose and greater agenda. All right. So most people, when they ride along with the majority, aka the mob mentality, without sense of clarity or a level of they will do harmful things, and otherwise they wouldn't do it by themselves. So make sure the greater of your influence is those people who are going to build you up, not break you down. And if they're going to break you down, they're going to say, "Hey, let me build you back up. I took this from you, but I'm going to replace it with this, and this. Or I'm going to school you. I'm going to teach you. So you take the student seat, eventually you become the master. You'll go and turn around and be the master and teach someone else. So understand what I mean by purpose and agenda. All right. So when we think about this, we have to remember discernment and align with whichever mob, aka tribe, or majority that is going to work best for your greater purpose and your final destination. And that should be illuminated, abundant, advanced, unified. I am global citizen. I am somebody. Okay. And so when you're thinking about that, that serves a greater purpose. So I'm hoping that you guys are doing pretty good. Have you guys finished writing some of these things down? I'll give you guys just a moment. So, as the text states on page 73, when the voices of 100 say, let the city burn, it's hard to hear over the majority that those think for themselves, right? They will think past all of that, right? And majority rule. They'll dare stand alone or fall for anything, all right? But quietly disagree. There are some people who will agree to disagree and go along, get along, but you have to know when to stop going along, get along, especially if it's not working out or if it's creating a diversion or destruction or not serving a greater purpose. So now you guys understand what I'm saying in my notes, right? And then on top of that, you got to dare stand alone instead of falling for anything, because if you fall for anything, you will be that sheeple. You will be the one leading yourself and others to slaughter. So you have to say to yourself, do I want to be a lion or do I want to be a sheeple? And you go, no, I'd rather be a lion. Okay? So we have to think about all of that as we go along and we get along and learn our pathways, okay? And so when we think about footsteps, like my mother gave me something when I was little, it's a poem called Footsteps, and it tells you to order your steps and guide your tongue, okay? And with those footsteps, God will guide you. That's God's original plan. So we have to think to ourselves as we were raised in the church, or those of us who didn't go to church, or those of us who did go to church, like grandma had us on the pew. Yeah, great. Sit back, don't embarrass me in church. You have to think about all of these different things. And I think about all the order that I was raised with, and all the abundance I was raised with, and all the levels and layers of foundation of things that my mother taught me, her mother's mother taught her, and respecting our elders, treat others as we want to be treated. All the different things which were the I am golden rules, and they're also found in the Bible. So I wanted to make sure that I took you guys to church today so that we can understand how important it is and how important it is to not get away from the Lord and learning the pathways, because even at that, everybody worked just like these illuminations, just like this testament. It's just like the Bible, the Torah, or any other body of work, the Quran. Each one is loosely separated but together. So when you think about the 6 degrees of separation in religion, that's why I don't put religion in there. But I want to remind you guys, it's always good to go back to church. It's always good to sit back with your elders and people to teach you all the levels and layers of the things that we were already taught. We just got away from because when we were a little older, we say, "Oh, I could go make my own path, my own headways. I will do whatever I want to do," and then you realize, "Oh crap, I should have listened to mom. I should have listened to grandma. I should have listened to everybody." You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to get to that should, woulda, coulda stage, all right? So that's what I meant by discouragement, distractions, okay? So you want to make sure that we always get to a place that we can always say, I can always come back home. I can always come back to being my illuminated, abundant, Christos, illuminated one, okay? So no matter how far you fall off the wagon, no matter how far distant you get, and no matter how far you backslide or do something that makes you feel ashamed, you have to remember, I am is set forth for everybody to be perfectly imperfect, but a perfect imperfection, but a vision of I am, which means everybody is a part of that. That means we all are going to go through hardships. We're all going to have something happen to us, but how you overcome whatever was put in your pathways, those bricks, those stones, how you order your steps, guide your tongue, and continue to keep walking and keep moving sets the tone of you overcoming your hardship. Okay. So we have to begin to say to ourselves, it's harder to stand alone, but you will be better for it in the long run to continue your journey and walk in your light. All right. So follow the light, fear not, trust your process. All right. So I hope you guys understand how important it is to get all of these different little tidbits and nuggets. All right. So in the daily illumination, we're on page 77. So let's flip to this one, but I'll tell you what chapter this is in. Choices and decisions. Okay. This is a good guiding light here. All right. We're almost done, y'all. All right. Living life as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. And that's by Mahatma Gandhi. All right. So when you are faced with difficult decisions, ask yourself, which way would you choose if tomorrow was the last day of your life? Is the disagreement with your friend worth the distance it is creating between you? Is the cost of a new house worth the time you spend working to pay for it? If tomorrow was your ending, would today be your best and final chapter in your destination? Sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes the answer is no. But the importance is the question itself. But sometimes the answer is yes. This is what the text is saying. Okay? So the importance is the question of itself. Here's the reason for those questions. And I'm going to break this down for you guys. Okay? This is a quite interesting one. Here's the reason why I said it's interesting. Because the different variables that alter our decisions, our decision-making skills, or the process is that rendering a better outcome or decision as if today was your last, is it worth it? What is this final chapter? Okay, what's going to look like? What is it going to look like if I decide to do this? And I thought about this as I was writing my notes, right? I sat there and said to myself, have I ever thought before I did something? Have you guys ever did something and you were just like, I should have thought before I did it? You know, and you're just sitting there thinking to yourself, if I would have just sat down for a minute, if I would have just paced myself, oh God, I hate I did this. So that's what I meant by the other teachings and whatnot, and which is on page 73, because it goes hand in hand, all right, in choices and decisions, that chapter, that section. And this is coming from, again, Illuminations, wisdom from this planet's greatest minds. So now you see why I said the book is good. Okay. So as we're thinking about this being interesting and things like that, when we make decisions, we have to say, is it worth it? What is the final chapter going to look like if I decide to do this? And what is my legacy going to look like when I make this decision? Am I going to come back to look at this 10 years from now, 15 years from now, or is it going to come back to bite me? And it's easier said than done, because as we go up the ladder in life, we get far away from our teachings and our foundation. And we all sign oath, right? Especially us IAM beacons, we all sign oath. And we're supposed to adhere to that oath, okay? So our oath that we all sign is to defend against enemies, foreign and domestic. That includes anybody that's close to us or not close to us, foreign and domestic, okay? So we have to look at those different things and say to ourselves, is this what I want? Is this what I need? And we have to ask ourselves, am I ready to remember that oath when the time comes to stand up? All right. So when we think about all these different things, that process is not linear because life ain't linear. Life is not perfect. We have an eternal circle of life. We have to not miss our mark though. Okay. So when we think about the ray of light that comes out there, right? We have to think about that pyramid of bricks in the middle. So now you guys understand what I'm saying. All right. So ask yourself as to reference with the text, the daily illumination. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. And Mahatma Gandhi is one of my best and final chapters in my journey, or in a level of what Mahatma Gandhi's teachings. The reason why I said this in the way it's written is that my best and final chapter of my journey or legacy, will you think different and act accordingly in decision making? Here's the reason why I said this. As you're going along in life, and you meet people who change your mindset or steer you from a different direction other than your I am illuminated, abundant direction, your growth, your unified, your advanced direction, you're going to have a lot of detours along the way. So you have to ask yourself, live as if you were to die tomorrow, learn as if you were to live forever. Because at the end of the day, not one day is promised to us. But if you live a certain way, just like my grandma and my mama told me, you live a good life, God will give you 72 years plus, and you're blessed if you make it to 72. Okay? So I said to my mom, I said, I'm going to live past grandma. Grandma died at 97 years old. I'm going to be 113 years old because I'm put 10 years on the plus 3. All right. So when I thought about that, I said to myself, I'm speaking that into existence so I can live my best life, my I am abundance life, my illuminated, advanced, unified life. So when I say I am illuminated, I mean I am illuminated. I am somebody. I am advanced. I am abundant. I am somebody. So think about this in this history month. Think about all the different things that our predecessors, whether white or black, the Jews that stood with the blacks who stood with the Jews in the movement in the 60s and the 70s, and all these different things, all the people who built up Hollywood, the industry, all these different things. Think about all this hard work and think about everything that my mama is leaving a legacy for me to carry on. Think about what my mama is leaving for my sister to carry on, what my mama is leaving my baby to carry on. So when we think about all of these different things in this generation of 3 women, I think about that every day. And I think about, if I make this decision, what legacy am I leaving? What is my chapter in all of this going to be? What are people going to say about me when I pass away? I'm not saying I'm pass away anytime soon. I'm going to live forever. We're not meant to live forever, but we have a time that we're here on this earth to make the best of it. All right? So here's the key talking point and lesson in this. Sometimes moments pause and reflection. We do have to pause. We have to breathe and stop for a second. We have to say to ourselves, a better decision after the moment of reprieve instead of brevity and haste is making a hasty decision and regretting it later. Okay? The importance is the question itself and your answer that guides you. Okay? And I want you guys to understand all of that. We're doing pretty good, guys. So we're almost done. We got the last but not least. Okay? Here is the last one. So we're all caught up on the daily illuminations. Yay! We have to say to ourselves, this is going to be on page 65, okay? Be curious always, for knowledge will not acquire you. You must acquire it. Bertrand Russell, found on page 65. And this one actually tickles me a little bit. Here's the reason why. I used to watch The Secret Life of Zach and Cody, and I remember London Tipton, and I remember Bertrand. And Bertrand was like, it's too far. So we have to think about in our I Am Illuminated self, we have to think about Bertrand. And he's like, it's too far. It's never too far to get something done. Get up, get out, and do something. Don't let the world pass you by, like Team World Online for children, adolescents, young adults. So there's times where I used to joke with my baby when she's like, Mommy, could you do this for me? I'm like, it's too far. So now I tell her all the time, it's not too far for you to turn around, reach, and do what you got to do. So you got to learn before you teach. So I figure you guys would laugh at some things that I've done with my baby because I like to have my teachable moments with her, but make it fun so she could laugh a little bit. She's like, Mom. I'm like, well, it's too far, but it's never too far to learn. Okay. So it's just like You guys remember reading Rainbow, Butterfly in the Sky? Reading Rainbow. So when you think about this, as you read along and you go along, get along in this text, you'll learn that you got to be able to say it's never too far to get what you need to get out of this, okay? So pick up the text, all right? So let's go to page 65. And we're all just like a butterfly in a chrysalis in a cocoon. We just have to get to a place where we break out of the chrysalis. We become I am Christos. Get where it's coming from? So we become butterflies. And it's just like monarchs. You become more able to take flight, do what you got to do, but you are more a better version of yourself to live your legacy and begin to learn, teach, and become the master and the student at the same time. Because no master ever forgets that they're a student sometimes. All right? You heard that from me. But please remember to never outshine the master, all right? Here's this one. Being curious always for knowledge will acquire you. You must acquire it. Think about what this says. Be curious always, for knowledge will not acquire you. You must acquire it. Bertrand Russell. Okay. So every great discovery is the child of determination and curiosity. Okay. A yearning to understand the mysteries of this universe drives a person along the never-ending pathway of knowledge. Curiosity begins with questions. How does that work? What does that mean? What do you mean? Okay. Why does that happen? Look past the surface, guys, of everything and encourage yourself to wonder and to question. You are surrounded by puzzles waiting for you to discover the answer, okay? And for discovery and for things to be solved. So it means asking questions is a good thing. It means learning and knowledge is a good thing. Each answer reveals knowledge that can be used for the rest of your life. Think about that, okay? So that's where I was getting into the whole reading Rainbow. We used to do the booklet program, reading Rainbow and things like that. And they say knowledge is power. It really is. So I was thinking about all of that as we think butterflies in the sky. And as we learn, we begin to say to ourselves, hey, what is it I need to think about? What is it I'm doing? It's just like that rainbow you saw at the beginning. You have to look at that pot of gold at the end, except for the pot of gold is that knowledge. It's teaching you a better foundation of the I am illuminated abundant self. So when we think about this, when I was a child, I did childish things. When I became older, I put those childish things away. That is just as we are all raised in the church or within our community of order, abundance, unity, grace, advancement, reverence, and become rich with wisdom from our greatest minds and our elders, our ancestors. So think about what I'm saying here. Children are blessings, and they are curious and absorb life like little sponges of light. So this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. So except for at the end. We have to think about all that because we're all like little sunflowers. Okay, we plant from the water that we're given. So we have to think of ourselves as parents. The water, our children are our plants. Okay, if you water that plant, you have miracle grow on it. That miracle turns into an adult, a teacher, a leader, a manager, a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse, a paramedic, or something amazing, a rapper, a singer, a tastemaker, somebody for the culture. So think about this when people become celebrities and their shoulder gets tapped and they end up getting a little fame and fortune. But what test did they overcome? The foundation of bricks that were thrown at them, something that was designed to kill them, hurt them, and harm them. They powered through it. They persevered. So when we're teaching our children, our little mini light, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. You have to say to yourself, we all start with our DNA, what we are born with. All right. Our program or our Christos, illuminated one. So now you guys understand the hashtag for today. I am illuminated. All right. So when we think about all of this, we say to ourselves, for short, our natural I am self. We must begin to guide our seeds to the light and cultivate the mind. So, as parents, as leaders, as wives, as girlfriends, fiancés, as we become and develop in our legacy, as we get older in our 20s, our 30s, our 40s, our 50s, we should have gone past those hardships and learned something. Each one teach one, reach one. Okay? Let me lift you up instead of tearing you down. And if I tear you down, it's to build you up to be better than ever. Illuminated, advanced, abundant. So when you think about all of that, then you've got the lesson, okay? And you begin to advance in life, okay? And as we guide our children, they become adults, just as we once were children. We morph into adults, all right? And we morph into adults with yearning and curiosity like that of our children, leading to a pathway of knowledge, okay? And discovery of the greater I am self, okay? Think. Curiosity helps us discover, cultivate our minds, mold and change over time. Okay. And along the hardships and rocks, aka stepping stones, we must discover that we are supposed to learn why things happen the way they did, or sometimes not even question it. Because sometimes you don't even get the answer, because sometimes the answer is heartbreaking. The truth hurts. Or sometimes we need the truth to set ourselves free. Okay. However, not falling prey to conspiracy theory, falsehoods. We must remain steadfast in our light and order. All that we were raised with, you guys. Think about that. And we have to continue to grow, learn, teach, and pass the knowledge. Christos, illuminated, abundant, advanced. We have to continue to elevate, illuminate, and begin to turn on our inner Christos, illuminated one. Never allow anyone to dim our natural light. Okay? Even in hardship, gain the knowledge and enlighten ourselves. Begin to move to the greater version of the self and the rest of our life, our legacy. Okay? And grow forward daily, even if you make mistakes. So why do you guys think I took the whole thought process to put this on social media? Because I want you guys to see me make mistakes. Okay? Oh, I don't like it. It wasn't funny. Nowhere near it. But you see me still smiling. Because some people probably are mad at the world that I'm still trying to smile. Because I realize my smile will light up everybody. If it means that somebody needs to borrow my smile a little bit, or be able to borrow my light, I've got more than enough in me. So why not shed some light with you guys and teach? So even through hardship, we gain that knowledge and we enlighten ourselves. We move towards our greater legacy and our greater purpose. So in this TED Talk, in this daily illumination for the soul, I want you to get these exclusive Twitter, YouTube, Clubhouse, Twitch, Meta, Facebook Live, daily illuminations for the soul. I truly hope you all enjoyed the building session. Fear not, we are always watching, and you got to trust the process and walk in your light. Continue to cultivate your mind and become the greater version of the self. Everyone, I want you guys to be blessed. I want you to be blessed as always and continue to heart. Until the next build, I want you guys to reserve your seats. And I want to teach you guys something from a thing of affirmations. I am receiving deeply and giving fully. I am trusting my journey. Everything is working out better than I could ever imagine. I am attracting everything I desire in alignment with my highest good and my greater purpose. My I am abundant, unified, advanced purpose. So again, pick up Illuminatium, the First Testament of the Illuminati, official level of recommended books and whatnot. It's a great body of work. Pair it with your Illuminations. Illuminatium, join the website, Illuminati IAM, and that is the testament. So you guys check that out. And I'll also retweet it for you guys so you guys can have that. Okay? So those of you guys who are on my personal Twitter, you guys can get that and also paste it on the other one for IMCC coaching, Bound Diva coaching, and as well as Team World online. All right. And also paste it on Facebook for you guys to get. All right. And if you're a beacon of light and learning your way, you may make your final decision and you can join the Daily Illumination or Club Illuminate and things like that on House. But you may join primarily the Illuminati website. And the reason why I want to make sure there's some clarifications here, and we'll just go into that disclaimer in just a second. We'll be doing the daily illumination build there to shed some light and trust the process. It's worth it. Okay. So follow at Bound Diva Coaching, IMCC Coaching, and you can find me on Clubhouse. All right. Or you can find Team World on Clubhouse as well. The clubs are created for like-minded beacons and other IAMers to gather, talk, and build, and straighten each other's crowns. I hope there is clarity and distinction that I support Illuminati. All right. And I am on my own independent life coaching, as well as that I am affiliated. All right. So I want to make sure there's a distinction that I am comes above me. All right. So I am distant, I am beacon. All right. We just talk about these bills and things like that because there are so many of us around the world. I figured, why not just have everybody come along? Let's talk about the text and things like that, jog ideas, and begin to grow with each other. Okay. And if we're wrong, we can fix each other's crown along the way, whether you're male or female, whatever you identify as. It's not gender specific. So I don't care about your sexual preference, your religion, your race, none of that. And that's the same way that Illuminatium is. Okay. I want to make sure, shouts out to Illuminatium. All right. And I want to make sure that you guys understood that I'm my own independent life coach, wellness coach, divorce coach, business coach, but I am also an I am beacon as well. So I want to incorporate that in what I do. So I want to make sure that I do not and never will take away from the natural and true shine of Illuminatium. Okay. They're what lit a candle for me. Hence why I want to make sure everyone knows my agenda is to walk in my own life. Okay. My own personal life. Okay. And why I want to make sure everybody knows and continue to remain humble in my journey and things like that, and supporting the organization itself and its leadership and its management. Okay. So I want to make sure everybody's clear where I stand with it and that I stand adjacent side by side with Illuminati. Okay. Because there was many times where I was going through hardship and it was those light seekers, light workers, ascendant masters, and luminaries that helped me to get on my feet. Okay. And I wanted to make sure it was abundantly clear that the distinction of the level of homage that I wanted to pay to Illuminati. Okay. And then I want to pay the organization as well to make sure that they understand that I'm always going to be standing beside them or behind them and make sure that I support the organization and in solidarity with Illuminati. And you can follow them on Twitter. Okay. And Facebook as well. And it's not about following me. I want to make sure that you guys understand that I'm just a beacon of light, and just want to make sure this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I just want to pass along the knowledge that I gained and tell you why I'm smiling. It's because I had a level of this, and I had a level of this. I also had my Bible and things like that to reference from, but I will tell you, this is what helped me. And every day when I get frustrated, I'll pull this book up and I'm like, you know what? And I've got other books that are coming out, but until then, I just, keep rereading this. So I want to make sure in solidarity with Illuminatium that it's not just about me. It's about all of you. I want to make sure that it clears everything personal and professional with the organization itself. And you guys understand that I am affiliated, but I am its own independent organization. And it's pretty good. I like it. My experience has been pretty good. So I want to debunk all the conspiracy theories about that. All right. And it's nothing personal. I just want to do that on my own free will and my own recognizance and things like that to make sure no one got the wrong idea or conjured up anything, okay? Or any kind of mess and things like that. So I don't want to take away the shine from Illuminati, all right? I'm still learning and teaching at the same time, and I want you guys to understand that. And I just want to be straightforward out of respect for Illuminati, all right? So I hope you guys understand, and I hope you guys enjoy this live. So that's it for today. We have finished an hour, 13 minutes, and 16 seconds. I told you I was going to keep it within an hour. So we're doing good. So with that being said, we are finished. I'm going to do a couple different things, and we're going to be wrapped up for today. All right? So also, if you guys want anything like the Illuminations, you can get that from Amazon and other such outlets that sell this book, and in conjunction with this book, and they're sold together in a package. And it's fairly inexpensive. They pay about maybe about close to $15 total. Let's see if there's anything else left over. Yeah. And again, like I told you, when we do our live shows on our talk radio, which would be talkradiodiva.com, you can call in live to talkradiodiva.com. And with the power to do more, you may text 866-727-9323 or at local Atlanta to the 8 stop 404-418-5104. You can love offer online at talkradiodiva.com, or you can cash out Talk Radio Diva. All right. So you're more than welcome to do that, or you can do at IMCC for Venmo. All right. So you're more than welcome to tip my tip jar on Twitter, and as well as you can do a Facebook Live donations, or you may be able to do it on Clubhouse, and it has the Give Money link. You're more than welcome to do that when I finally start closing my Clubhouse to exclusive Clubhouse meetings and things like that. But until then, the Clubhouse is open. It's still, you hit the Give Money link. It's optional. I do not require this stuff. This is just something I do. I like this. I love this. This is my thing. So just understand, it's not always about money. It's always about making sure I pour more content into the platform and making sure you guys enjoy every little thing that I present to you guys. And I will talk about our sponsors, and that's it. I got a couple of questions in the community I have to ask you guys. And you're more than welcome to tweet me, Twitch me, or you are welcome to Facebook Meta Live me and let me know. So let's go over some of the questions. And these are important questions, okay? So in of what you learned from the daily illuminations for today, what has worked so far for you? What hasn't? What did you learn from today's illuminations on those pages? And what else do you need in order to reach your goals in life and becoming more illuminated? What choices do you need to make to achieve your goals to become more abundant, unified, advanced, or become an I Amer? What can I do to help you? What are your 3 biggest priorities in illuminating, becoming more I Am Illuminated? Hashtag of the day. And what are your 3 biggest priorities this year? And what are your goals for this year to become more abundant, unified, advanced, and I Am Global Citizen? Or what are your goals going to inspire you to do for others in your community, in your church, in your congregation, outside of that, in your school, and any of your organizations within your community? What might need to change within external, internal? And then in the community link tabs or on the comments string, tell me how you plan to make the following tips and tricks that you learned today work for you. Tell me in the community tab what you learned, and I may feature your response, and we'll do a follow like train. So if you respond and you comment with the appropriate comment, I will pick it out, and we will do shouts out at the beginning of the show. And ask yourself, what are the biggest things that you need to tackle within? Ask yourself, am I the better version of myself? Am I the version of myself that I would be proud of? Or do I need to work on it? All right. So last but not least, I want to thank everyone for being a valued viewer. I look forward to excellent subscribers and viewership like you. Subscribers, likes, and shares are a big part of my platform. And I want to take a quick moment to tell you guys, hit that like button, share and subscribe to all notifications, and hit that notification bell. Tell a friend and family member, because I'd love if my future viewers and subscribers could hear about how you illuminated today and your experience firsthand and foremost. Watching my podcast, watching my channel, watching my Clubhouse, watching my Meta Live, watching my Twitch, and getting to know me, your host, Cece, your life coach. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed illuminating with daily illuminations for the soul. You guys take care. Out here with some good, easy listening music, and then we'll do our after dark. All right.